Miko of Arsenal, yeah, still buzzing from the wonderful game we had yesterday against Everton. And today I have one of the people I consider the most logical Arsenal fans ever that I've met um, in person of Khalil of 411 HQ.
Yeah,
Just a
man.
backstory. So Khalil is one of those people that made me start trying to put in a bit of logic into my fandom as well. There's a word like that because I remember clearly Kali was probably number one fan of Granit Xhaka then, and then I was like, and I could not see reasons why he liked Xhaka. Then I said, okay, maybe let me start watching this guy more and stop, being a should I say a victim of the media bias of the red cards, similar to what's happening to Caicedo right now, even as a Chelsea fan. So I decided to see football more beyond just the guy that is scoring and all that. So yeah, thumbs up to Kali
Definitely.
on that. So it's
Definitely. I was an
basically yeah,
early investor in Shaka, even though he had his hot head, obviously. But everyone
yeah,
eventually saw my boy. He went over to Germany, won the league, was part of that unbeaten team, and now he's doing wonders,
it's pulling his
basically
string.
carrying Sunderland on his back, right?
Yep,
Man, shout out
that's
to
what he's doing
Shaka,
right
man.
now.
Shout out to Shaka.
Yep.
And
So
shout
I
out to
mean,
you too for inviting me, man. 401 HQ, man. You know the
yeah,
vibe.
411 HQ. Please subscribe to Kali's channel. It's a very wonderful channel. It gives us real data insights into the other side of football that most of us may not know. I enjoy watching his videos, just give you that extra insights on jersey sales, the numbers. He also gives you a bit of finance tips. But yeah, up to the days of the day, yesterday's game. Tell me in like few minutes, what do you think about the game yesterday? That's not was
I mean,
Everton.
it was a wonderful game. Obviously, Everton. You know, one of the things about Premier League, first of all, is any team can beat you any given day. And it
Facts.
was looking that way. The game could have gone either way until Arsenal scored in the second half. I did not catch that goal. But clearly, one of the things that differentiates top teams from mid-table teams is that
Yep.
can you sustain that tenacity, that intensity for 90 minutes? And it felt like they eventually, Everton, in this case, dropped quality. And
Yeah.
this is the hallmark of champions when things are not going right with you. When chips are down, who is willing to put the ball in the net? And it was from an unsuspecting youngster, our very own Max Dowman,
Max
who
Dowman.
a lot of people have been saying he's the next up. And he had a hand in both goals. He brought the energy that we needed. And it was a fantastic win. One of those wins where
Very
you
fantastic
go in
one.
and feel happy about yourself.
I mean, yeah, because I mean, people. It's the thing about football is that football is a result business. If you check my live stream yesterday, I was really feeling very terrible at 80 minutes, 85 minutes. But again, because I've watched the game for a very long time, sometimes there's always going to be that hope until the last whistle is blown. And it was very nice to see in Max Dorman, Gyökeres, everybody. But as a matter of fact, the two goals, all our four substitutes were involved. Everybody was
Yep.
involved. Martinelli, Gyökeres, Dorman, and all of that. And also big credits to Mikel Arteta. I mean, I don't know if you've seen that clip. At some point, Baba come out in jackets, remove plates, like the tension got to him. It was so bad because he was like, ah, God, what's happening? But just
Yeah.
moving to the to the crux of today, Max Storman, right? And we're talking about really in the last couple of years for you, who would you say has been your best A-Lend graduates from the Arsenal Academy, off the top of your head?
I mean, definitely, Bukayo Saka is definitely the number one ambassador of the Hale right now. He came
Yeah.
up, he has played in different positions, he has been in Arsenal his
Mm-hmm.
whole life. And,
Yep.
when he was about to sign a contract recently, I was reading the news and they are like, how they see him from the American owner's standpoint is he's a franchise player.
Mm-hmm.
Think about the LeBron of this world, the Steph Curry of this world, right? That is how the Arsenal hierarchy see him. So definitely he's number one. Um, but we've also had a
Mm-hmm.
couple of ones that they've tried, but they haven't worked out right. But if you go back 10, 15, 20 years back, then the likes of
Okay.
Jack Wilshere, you know, come into mind. The likes of Kieran Gibbs come into mind.
Oh, that's
No, we
true.
had
That's
the
true.
Hoyt brothers, Gavin Hoyt and Justin Hoyt. They
That's,
also marked some appearances. Those are the ones that I could think about off the top of my head. Now coming back to recent memory too. You have Maitland Niles, you have Joe Willock. These are people who are still playing professional football at the top level. So we have to give them some credit. So we've definitely had a lot of successes. The good thing about academies is that when you get a player that becomes successful, one,
Yep.
you are not having to pay any transfer fee. But two, you
Yep.
can easily shape them to how you want them to be. They already know how to conduct themselves. And we just might have another superstar on our hands in the name of Max Dowman.
Yep. I mean, talking about that, I think guys, like you see, like I said, with Kali, one thing you get is the extra finance side to football. I mean, you probably had something like the franchise players. You already know that our owners are Americans, and there's, I mean, interestingly, the owners of Chelsea are also Americans, and
Yeah,
the
that's where the
project is
world is
going,
going, right?
the project is going somewhere else there, right? But thinking
Exactly.
about it, right, when I think about alien players, for me, I would think about the most recent times. I feel like in recent times, that's when the alien project, kind of caught a boost from the likes of Eddie Nketiah has always been that guy for a while.
Yeah,
Think
in
back to
case
the days of
good catch.
Wenger. Yeah, the days of Wenger when I think he came on. Was it Carabao Cup or Carling Cup? But it
Yep,
was called. And I
yep.
put on that sheet. So there's Eddie. I personally felt Eddie was, well, I really for a long time I thought Eddie was going to go on to, successful in the Arsenal colours, but it wasn't to be before he moved on to Crystal Palace at some point. I saw the likes of Smith Rowe also. I think the thing with Alien players is that for me, there's sort of that emotional attachment to them, right? But the truth about the matter is that at the end of the day, football is still a business. They have to move on. So we've had the likes of Joe Willock move on, Smith Rowe. Also, one person for us as Nigerians that's also a standout in that scenario is Alex Iwobi, right? Alex Iwobi is one player with, I mean, a lot of us actually thought was going to go on to, maybe have his own say in the Arsenal history books. But again, then again, also, I think he was one of those players that if he didn't make it as well as much in the Arsenal colours in the Premier League, also you could say he's also a proven player, having moved from Arsenal
Yeah,
to
man. I
Everton,
definitely
yeah,
put
to Fulham.
Iwobi right after Alex. Right after Saka actually, in terms of top alien players over the last 15 years, man. I'd put
Yeah.
I'd put Saka first. I'd put
Mm-hmm.
Iwobi second, then
Mm-hmm.
Eddie Nketiah third, and Smith Rowe maybe fifth, and maybe Maitland Niles, right? Because Iwobi now has almost a decade of Premier League football under his belt. He has proven to
Yeah,
be a good
that's a
player,
lot of
someone
time to be playing professional
someone that
football,
can
man.
contribute significantly to a team that wants to stay up in the Premier League. You don't get those players often. So definitely Iwobi's up there. Eddie and Nketiah, I mean, things could have gone better, but I felt like his development was stalled. He lost the plot at some point, and now he's nearing 25,
Mhm.
26. Do you really think that it could be a consistent feature in a Premier League team or in a Premier League quality team?
I mean, I think the thing about football that we would try to really get to see is that so far you are still kicking the ball and you're in the league, there's something that can change for you. I mean, look at the likes of Dominic Calvert-Lewin. We thought, oh, last season, maybe that was it, it was done and everything. And look at him in the lead color this season, pulling the
Yep.
shift. So I think that probably until in quotes, when you stop kicking the ball, maybe that's when it's the end. But for someone like Eddie, who I feel like there was that clip in the All or Nothing where sort of showed the kind of person he was, kind of mentality he has, where he told Lokonga to stop moaning that you think you're the only one that is not playing. Guy, we're plenty on the bench here. So he just the kind of person that he is. I mean, I'll always
Man,
be rooting for
Lokonga.
alien players, right? Yeah, I mean that interestingly, funny enough, and Khalid had the conversation about the Emirates era recently, and it's interesting. I feel like if you
Yeah.
go back to that conversation, Lokonga will probably and the likes of Tavares may be one of these signings that, but that's the conversation for another day, right? So talking about alien guys, right? Just feel like likes of Iwobi, Smith Rowe, Joe Willock really have sort of giving the alien the spotlights recently. And just to wrap it up, the main guy of the moment, Max Zaman. Just Kali, what do you think? What do you think is the best way for us to for Max Zaman to go on to be that guy? Because one of the things you really realize, especially in a country like England, is sometimes when a player comes out that way, there's somehow there's almost like a bigger chances of the player not hitting that peak compared to the player hitting the peak. So what do you think about Max Zaman what do you think we need to do? What do you think Arteta needs to do in terms of, oh, this guy gets to that point? Also thinking about the fact that we also have the likes of Nwaneri currently in the team that, he has had to move to Marcel, and we're just thinking, okay, what's wrong? What's happening? So yeah, what do you think about him in terms of moving forward, Max Sherman?
I think the way it has always worked, we also the
Mm-hmm.
same rules will apply to him. No one will give you the starting spots. You see that you snatch the chain or you get moved out. But for younger players, there's also that part of development also matters, right? I'd say
Mm-hmm.
he has at least 2, 3 players ahead of him, either on
Mm-hmm.
the wings or in the 10 position. Once Odegaard comes back, once some of the other trusted guys come back, then that may be a problem. What I always tell people, and we have so many examples. If you are not Messi talent, then you will likely not get Messi minutes at that age. If you are not,
I'm out.
I don't know, Ronaldo's talent or some other guy's talent, we've seen a lot of youngsters come into the team and then they fizzle out, right? I was
Yeah.
talking to my buddy yesterday about Januzaj from United, and we could name
Ooh.
many examples, right? I'd say if he knows what he's doing, he should leave he needs to secure, he needs to prove himself. The Carabao Cup, the 10 minutes, 20 minutes he gets here will be important. But I think he should sign elsewhere, perhaps Germany, places where we've known that players can truly develop. You need consistent minutes against grown men. You need to leave the confines of the under 17, under 19, and players that have succeeded. Some of them they've had to get consistent playing time. I mean, if you look at the likes of Jack Wilshere now, he had to go to Bolton where he got
Mm.
consistent minutes against quality players. The likes of Saka, even though
Mm-hmm.
Saka was
Saka
playing left
never
back,
left
but
though.
he never left, but he has to be getting consistent minutes elsewhere. Like, not necessarily his preferred position. He was playing wing back, left back at some point, right? But if you miss that 18 months of development from when you're 16 to 19, you may just never make it to the top anymore. Another thing that I'm really
So,
watching
well,
out,
just a report. When you say top in the Arsenal squad or top in
I mean,
football,
just
basically.
even topping in a quality league like Premier League, right? To be in that upper echelon of quality football or in the top five
Yeah.
leagues, you are really playing for a good team. If you miss that development phase, you just may never get it anymore. So it will be an interesting thing to watch out. I feel like at the end of the day, the coach will decide. In terms of
Yeah.
does he still want to trust Odegaard? Bro, let me ask you this: it is
That's a big
very
statement.
difficult to it is very difficult to trust someone else if you've gotten used to someone like Odegaard. He's your captain. You
Yeah.
trust him to deliver the goods, and now you want to be relying on someone else, right? I'd say that another thing to watch out for, and that I don't think anyone can really work on it as much, is just to look at his eventual athleticism. Because think about it, if you're an attacking player in Premier League, if you are not athletic enough, no matter how skillful you are, it will be very difficult to play in a top team. So it will be
Yeah.
interesting to see his development. But for now, I like how he plays. He has that hunger. He's very humble. He's very homely. He's someone the fans can get behind because that will
Yep.
obviously matter. He's a young dude. He'll make mistakes. So you want someone that the fans can always get behind. And I think
Yep.
he looks like they say if it sounds like it, if it looks like it, then it's probably it, right? So it looks like it's meant for the top, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah. I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. I hope that it's going to be top. For me, it's not even a matter of, I don't think it's time for us to input start him as it were. But again, cameos like yesterday. To be honest, I don't hope that I hope we don't have those. I hope it's even better. Maybe for example, he's coming in to finish games. Probably we're 2-0 up, and it's coming to lock things down to help Saka and Co. Take
Yep.
20 minutes off the clock for them. That would probably be best because. But yesterday was a pressure situation that he came in, and
And he
I mean
came
he
in.
delivered. So
And he
yeah,
delivered,
and
man.
he
Bro, even if
played. To be
you know what,
honest,
if we win the league
yeah,
early, he could also have
we
his
can
chance,
point
man.
to.
Yeah.
We can that's something, right?
Yeah.
Again, that's true. If you win the league early, he could actually go on to start a proper Premier League game. I'm not
Definitely.
sure. I need to check. I think he started the Premier League game this season. I have to
Oh,
confirm that to be sure, but I think he also played a couple of them because before he went on injury actually, because he's just fresh off back from injury. So yeah, with Max Doman, we really hope that he goes on to be that guy. To be honest, because one of the things you really see with football, really in UK generally, that pipeline for the academy to the main team. First of all, it starts with a very blossoming story. You see the player come on and makes his debut. Then 2, 3 years down the line, the player is either not more in the Premier League and all of those things. We hope that's not going to be the case for Max Doman. And yeah, final thoughts as we wrap
definitely.
this up. What do
Fingers
you think
crossed.
about Arsenal going for the league as we wrap this up? Just in 30 seconds.
Man, we are in the pole position. Everyone is on board. Team looks in the right direction. And more importantly, the person in second, the team in second, are looking like a shadow of themselves. So I'd say Arsenal for the Premier League this season, man.
Yep, same thing here. Same thing as I get to wrap it up. I really hope that we're going to get to do this. I mean, to be honest, I've always said that the Premier League has never been about someone deserving it in quotes. It's about going out there to win it. But if you have to use a statement of anybody who deserves the league, you can give Arsenal a shout that hey, in quotes, Arsenal deserves the league. And I really hope that we go on to do it. And with the likes of hopefully Max Dillman playing a crucial part and all of that. So yeah, thank you so much, Khalil. That's our time. Thank you so much for coming on the pod. Hopefully we have more conversations like this in weeks to come about Arsenal, and you also share
Definitely.
your wealth of knowledge about the things you know with us. And that's it. Signing out.
Definitely.
Yeah. Bye.